Hey, this is Charlie from Foray Music. A quick note before we start to say that Amy, Alexandria, Gabe, and I got so caught up in the holiday spirit that we broke the 4 for Foray holiday music episode into 2 parts. On this second episode, we cover the second half of our list of favorite holiday albums. Part 1, which came out a few days ago, covers the first half of our list. This was really fun conversation. We hope you enjoyed as much as we did. Now, on with Part 2.
Number 6 is, for me, the quintessential Christmas album, which is Christmas with Nat King Cole. So before I liked Natalie, there was Nat. And for me, this album has like the best version of the Christmas song. And for me, the Christmas song is the Christmas song. Like for me, it's not Christmas until I've heard this song from Nat singing it. And I'm just like, by a fireplace, like with my hot cocoa, like playing it, I'm just like, oh, it's Christmas time. I'm just listening to Nat King Cole sing that. I'm just like, wow. This was a great gateway drug to jazz. Like hearing that sing the Christmas song, and he's playing piano so beautifully, and I'm just like, anyways, I feel like I'm high after I listen to the song.
Might be the cocoa.
Might be the cocoa. Charlie, that was so slick.
I think the Christmas song is like low key like one of the greatest jazz ballads ever written.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, just like it's like an Ellington. It's like better than some of those Ellington jazz ballads. Like, you know, no shade, but it's like, you know, it's
incredible.
Yeah, all you need is chestnuts.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm here for you. We got it.
This is a tradition for my family too. We listen to Nat King Cole every single Christmas, and my dad always puts on the LP.
Vinyls for Christmas. We're selling a lot of vinyls tonight, my friends. So let's sell some VHSs though, Gabe. What do you got? What's number 6?
That segue.
Slick as well.
The Young Messiah. I was aware of this, but when it actually showed up in a Baroque music history class, I was like, it's official. This is perhaps one of the best, because I think, well, particularly as a vocal person, the Messiah is, you can't escape it this time of year. And this is a version like you've never, ever heard or seen before. And it's really hard to, honestly, it's just really hard to describe. There's so much permed hair, and the shoulder pads are out of control. And I will say that the vocal abilities of the people singing are also absurd. I mean, it's unbelievable music making, but wow. I think it's really hard to get past what they do with the music to hear that. It's kind of like an Ariana Grande thing, actually, where you're like, if you can shed some of the stuff that you would react to, it's unbelievable music making, So,
yeah, I wasn't familiar with this. So this is like a reimagining of Handel's Messiah. And is it like, can you listen to it? Like, is like the album out there, or is it just like you have to watch this VHS?
It's better to go down the YouTube rabbit hole and never come back. You can't unsee these videos. That's what I'll say about this.
The YouTube algorithm will be forever changed for you and your family.
You will be. It doesn't matter how many NFL highlights you watch after this. There will always be 80s videos in there somewhere.
That's very cool. I can't wait. Amy, what's number 6?
Number 6. This one, like, I don't know. Maybe I should just stop caring what people think. I feel like Pentatonics for me growing up, I loved them. Like,
yes.
My sister and I fully transcribed them by ear. Like we fully would be like, no, I'm gonna sing Mitch's part. Like, do you hear him singing that? Like we were so into it. And then I got to college, I was kind of like, oh, okay, like pentatonics. They're amazing. But you know what I mean? Like they're just like what they are, which is awesome, but it's like what they are. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this album is That's Christmas to Me. And yeah, it's just a bop. Like they actually have like really heavy arrangements going on. And this was when the bass, Avi Kaplan, is not in the group anymore. And now I don't know his last name. Matt, right? Is his name the bass in the group? Fact check me on that. But Avi, like, I don't know. He's insane. He can sing solo. And they sound amazing now too. But just when I was super into them, that was sort of like the DNA of the group was like the original five. So yeah, this album, I love this album. It sometimes comes on in my car because now I use Spotify, but I used to use like I have downloaded songs and my car sometimes will play the downloaded songs and it's always pentatonics. No fail. Always pentatonics.
That happens to me so much too. Like I'll just plug my phone into my car or something, and it just starts playing a Christmas song because it's like that was like, the last thing I bought on iTunes. 15 years ago or something.
Exactly.
Or whenever iTunes kind of like stopped being a thing for me, it's just kind of funny. Like, oh, that's a surprise. That's an interesting choice here.
Yeah.
4th of July weekend, and I'm like, listen,
Christmas in July.
This is my car. What happens in my car?
Leave me alone.
Okay, my number 6 was one of these, what I was mentioning, like sad piano albums. This is December by George Winston. George Winston. So there's this version. There's actually a couple of just killing versions of Carol of the Bells. Like for 2 years of my life, Carol of the Bells was like my favorite Christmas song. And I was like playing it on piano and was like doing all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. And it just goes on forever. And it like, it's just so spooky and stuff. I love that song so much. It's so weird and great and gothic or something. But this version of Carol of the Bells is very moody. So I wrote in the newsletter, they're going to play this recording of Carol of the Bells both at my wedding and my funeral.
Oh my God, Charlie.
It can work for both. It works for any occasion.
I love
but
that.
This is a cool album. It's not like super duper Christmassy. Like there's a song on it called Thanksgiving, and there's kind of some different things on there. So
there's a song called Easter. There's one called April Fool's Day. Yeah.
So
oh my God, please write that song.
I'm stretching a little bit here. No, but
that means you can start on
Thanksgiving doesn't happen during December. I feel like there was
start listening on Thanksgiving, Charlie. That's why.
Yeah, maybe it's like a Christmas Eve situation where it's like, listen, everyone does Christmas stuff. I'm gonna do Thanksgiving.
Stuff.
Or just December 1st. I'm gonna do Black Friday. My next album's called Black Friday.
You might want to be
Cyber Monday.
Be careful with that one.
But it's cool. It's like very moody. I imagine that this is my version of the when or if I have children, this will be my version of the gift Christmas, acoustic offerings for the holiday season from Gabe's family. This will be like, we're just gonna put this on and chill and like we'll make some eggs and stuff or whatever. This is gonna be the version of that.
Make some eggs.
We're gonna make some eggs. I don't know. What do people eat? I don't know what people eat anymore. Okay, I'm really nervous about this next one.
Anyways,
Alex, what's your number 7?
My number 7, Charlie's nervous because it's his Christmas album.
Dun, da, da, dun, da, da,
Charlie
dun,
has
da, da.
multiple Christmas albums that everyone should go stream, but they're all bops. But continuing with like this does not scream Christmas vibe. This album does not scream Christmas, but it screams like, the name of the album is From the Middle of a Frozen Lake, Volume 2. And it is just that. Imagine you're in the middle of a frozen lake. But the reason, Charlie, I actually love this album. Like, I don't think you know this, but Walking in the Air is such a deep cut.
Aww.
I was like, Charlie did not just do this song. And if you haven't heard Charlie play piano, you will hear Charlie play piano on this song because the whole beginning. Wait, is it in the like Bleak Midwinter? Like you just started off with just you playing piano. I was like, when's Charlie gonna sing? And I'm just like, but I was like, wait, this is Charlie playing piano. Like this is not someone that Charlie hired to like play. He's like, this is fully Charlie Christensen playing piano very well. And it's like, anyways, insert dinosaur sound. But if you're like wanting to get into the Christmas vibes, but you're not like sleigh bells ring, are you listening? You know, this is the album for you. It does have like it has like Holy Night on it, right? And you like some Christmas vibes, but you know, if you're like, oh, I'm kind of like I'm too cool for Christmas, then this is
Listen to this on December 26th.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm literally kidding.
No, but this is a great record, Charlie.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I'm listening to it a lot.
Very sweet of you. So the volume 2 thing, there's actually 5 volumes. So there's 5 kind of main Christmas albums that I've done. And then there's a greatest hits album, which is kind of a separate thing almost. So I've done a lot. If you can't tell, I really like Christmas. But this album I recorded and made when I was basically in like kind of where like Alexandria and Amy are, both geographically, but also just kind of like in my life. So like I think this was my second year in grad school, and I was like living in Harlem. I was in this tiny little apartment. I just like I just got Logic, and I was just learning how to do Logic. And so it's like I'm just like, woo, like up in my little apartment, like trying to imagine, like thinking about my house, my like parents' house in Wisconsin, and like the lake kind of freezing over. But also what happened was I just kind of come from this zone of being like hardcore straight ahead jazz guy, like Kurt Elling, Brad Meldau, Chris Potter, Kenny Garrett. Like that was all I cared about. And then like this flip switched in my head, and it was like Sufjan Stevens, Bon Iver, that kind of thing was like happening in my brain, and like writing songs and stuff. So like this is like I just recently like re-released this or whatever on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff. So it's been cool to go back and listen to it, but man, it's crazy. And there's a lot of there's a lot of Scruff McGruff stuff in it, but it's like a time capsule. It's like it's like a picture of when I was whatever, like 23 or something. And just like,
but it bobs, Charlie. I don't think you understand. Those are deep cuts. All those are deep cuts.
Thanks. Well, the Walking in the Air thing is from The Snowman, like that like little animation and like Christmas book or whatever, children's book thing. I love that song. That song is very spooky too.
The spooky vibes always coming from Charlie Christensen.
Gabe was around when I kind of did this, right? I think I sent this to you or something.
Oh, we got the original.
I mailed you the.
You did, and it was like instantly something that my mom is like the litmus test, if you can't tell. She's like, would you put, I just love Charlie's Christmas album. Would you put that on again? Because my family loves Charlie. And then, can you believe Charlie made a whole CD? Yes, in fact, he did. And then the next year, he's going to make another one.
I love that.
I like the time capsule attitude. From like, I just watch it like from other people's perspective. It's like we just are like, yeah, Charlie, yeah. But then I get how like even 2 years ago, I'm kind of like, don't listen, don't look, don't what, who. But I like that because it's kind of like, I don't know. It's sort of a beautiful thing, I think.
I think we had written like a few months ago about like there's like the Rick Rubin thing where he like talks about how like, everything you make is just like a journal, like just a diary entry or like a journal entry or something. And it's like, you just write down how you feel and then you like turn the page and it's the next day. and you do your next thing or whatever. So Gabe, what's number 7 for you?
Number 7 songs. This is another I stole from Charlie. Songs for Christmas by Sufjan Stevens. It's an experience and it's a lot of music, and so you can kind of just enter and not come up for air for a long time. And there's some ethereal stuff, and it's very sort of experiential. I love it.
That.
I love this album so much. And yeah, it's like if you I bought the hard copy of this in Times Square at what was that big music store, like Tower Records or whatever, like the Tower Records store or something in Times Square when I was in grad school. I like went and bought it, and it was like it's this box that you open up and there's like 5 discs in it.
5.
And there's a sticker book, like there's a book of stickers like reindeer, and there was like a song book. So like I have it somewhere. Like it's like all of the songs with chord changes and stuff. It's like lyrics and chord changes or whatever.
Oh wow.
It's so cool.
That's a neat idea.
Amy, what's your number 7? We got some Buble.
Number 7, Michael Bublé. This is Christmas. He said, he didn't even say the with. He just says, it says like Michael Bublé Christmas. So I just love him. This has a lot of his, at least for me, a lot of his like to a T Michael Bublé stuff. I think this is maybe not about Christmas, but one thing I'm obsessed with about Michael Bublé is that he did sort of like the big band thing and the pop thing. And that's like super inspo to me. I'm kind of like, can I do that? But no, I mean, he just like Michael Bublé's voice just fits the Christmas thing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
Yes, Christmas album by Michael Bublé. Yes, please. So check it out. It's really good. Killing it.
Okay, I will.
Charlie.
Number 7, He Is Christmas by Take 6. So I didn't really know about this album until a few years ago when a friend of mine like played it for me, and I was kind of like, oh my God, that is a lot. Like that is a lot. And I haven't listened actually a bunch of Take 6 in general. Like I think they're kind of outside my radar. I've seen them perform live a couple of times, but I haven't like listened to a bunch of their albums necessarily. And I maybe kind of should have or something, but it's kind of intimidating because they're so good and they just kind of like cover everything. So like both like range wise, but also just like musically and everything. There's just so much going on. So it's like, I think it was obviously like a little bit too, like a little much for me or something at some point, but this album is just so good. And there's like a little bit of everything. There's like some more R&B stuff. There's some like soul stuff. There's like gospel-y stuff. There's like really jazzy stuff. There's like a little bit of everything. And the arranging is crazy. It's kind of weird. You can't really find Take 6 arrangements. Like you can't buy them. So I don't know what their process is like. Like I don't know if how much of they like if some of it they don't write down, some of it they do write down. I know it's like all for the most part it's like arranged by the members of the group and stuff. So it's not like they have like ringers or something. It's like, but this album is sick. And the thing is, I love it so much and I'm so impressed by it. What's funny is like I'll play it for members of my family that aren't musicians or whatever. And they're like, what is this? This is a lot. And I'm like, I know it's a lot, but it's great. And it's like, what is going on? And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's so cool. I'm tempted to like sing little parts of it and stuff, but it will not make any sense. And it's probably very good. But so let's transition to number 8 for you, Alexandria.
Okay, so I feel so basic for this one, but it's Merry Christmas by Mariah Carey. But it's not because all I want for Christmas. That's not it. But but this is one of the few songs that has Jesus, Oh What a Wonderful Child on it, which is something I hold near and dear to my heart because that's the first Christmas song I learned from my grandmother, who's like the reason why I do music anyway. She would she sat at the piano and like I learned it by ear with her when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like I remember that. So, and like not many people do this song. So I was like, Mariah Carey has this song. Like I really only listened to my grandmother, like like her version, or like I never really listened to it like from any other artist. So when I found this, I was like, whoa, I actually like this version. So like when she passed away, this is like the version I like kind of started listening to, and I was like, oh, okay, other people sing it, not just her. Cool. So I like this album because of this song, even though Mariah Carey, she was slaying back then,
Oh
like
yeah.
absolutely killed the game.
Yeah. I mean, even that one song, "All I Want for Christmas," is like a career.
My
Like,
God,
that's
I
like a
know,
couple
right?
people's musical careers, like worth
Yeah.
of like everything, like worth of everything. But yeah, we had to have this had to be on the list. It's not basic. It had to be on the list somewhere.
Yeah, Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gabe, what's your number 8?
Yo, Simply Christmas with Leslie Odom Jr. I'm sorry,
Yes.
by Leslie Odom Jr., not with. um, I this man's voice,
Oh my God.
I can't, I
Butter.
cannot.
Hi.
It is just the choices that he makes, and he loves doing some funky. You're like, oh, this is beautiful, and then he throws in like one chord that you're like, wait, what? What was that? But it's in passing, you know. So I think it's a yeah, it's a lot that lets you just listen to him, and then a couple things musically where you're like, wait, I need to go back and listen to that track because what? You know, like, wait, Favorite Things is a sad song sometimes, you know? Like, I don't understand that. So it's it's magic.
He is.
Yes.
I like that you wrote here. I've never seen arrangements described as sensual before, but
I get it though.
they
Yeah.
are very
I
sensual.
mean,
When you look like him and sound like him,
you can't
The
not
arrangements
use
even are
the
sensual.
words. Yeah, exactly. A sensual arrangement for Leslie.
My God, yes.
It's like on the sheet music, it's like traditional carol is like the composer, and then underneath
Yep.
that sensual arrangement by.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Can we take a quick poll? Like, is My Favorite Things a Christmas song? Yes or no? Who says My Favorite Things is a Christmas song?
I mm,
No, don't
I
be
say
don't be afraid. Say if you think it is. Alexandria, you think it is a Christmas song?
I think it is a Christmas song.
Okay.
That's because I associate the Sound of Music with Christmas, though.
Okay.
If
That's
I didn't,
fair.
it wouldn't be a Christmas song.
That's fair. I think it's. I always think it's weird that This is my one humbug, like bah humbug moment of this whole thing. Is every time
Grinch
My Favorite
comes
Things is
out.
on a thing on a Christmas album, I'm like, that's not a Christmas song. That's so weird. Like, Sound of Music isn't a Christmas movie, and then even that, I think it's like a Christmas song for some people because it's like they kind of talk about things they want or something. So it's like presents or something. It's like these are a few of my favorite things. I'm not quite sure.
Or nostalgia? Do you think that it's partly like, or is it just
I think it's because it's
Maybe.
in 3 and people are like, these are a few, you know?
Like we need a waltz.
when the dog bites.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyways, Leslie Odom Jr. That had nothing to do with you except for that's the song was on the thing. Let's move on. Amy, what's your number 8?
Boop-a-doo. It is Christmas Portrait Special Edition reissue by the Carpenters.
You really
This is like-
you really want that version. That
yeah, you need make sure you
need
get
the
that one,
special
okay?
edition. Yeah.
I mean, this just has like all the songs, not all, but you know what I'm saying? Like the list, you're like, and that one, and that one. And the arrangements are beautiful, like the vocals on there are awesome. And I also just think like the Carpenters are kind of like legends. So I feel like I had to throw them on there. Yeah. I guess I don't have a ton to say about it, but I feel like with these ones I really love, I sort of am just like thumbs up from me. Check it out.
Yeah, Karen Carpenter, hero. I
Yeah.
don't know the other Carpenter. Like what are they doing on this? Like
I
what did
mean,
they do in the band? Like I know Karen Carpenter. To me, that's who the Carpenters are. But like, what's the other Carpenter doing? And is anyway,
that's actually a really good
do we have any
question.
news about that? I should I just look
Well, it
this up?
calls them a vocal duo because isn't it right?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's like he sings and stuff, but
They're siblings.
He
I don't know.
thinks.
I think
I
it's
thought
kind of
the
like there's a favorite in the
mm,
group. There's a favorite child.
really. I liked the vocal arrangements, especially at the beginning. I was like digging it.
Yeah. No, the
Oh,
whole
they
album
were
was great.
born in New Haven, Connecticut. Very
Um,
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
that's a fun little fact. Okay, let's move
No,
on.
anyway.
I tell you, I'm feeling slightly unhinged as we're rounding the corner here. It's Christmas Eve on the list, and we're getting there. So,
Yes.
my number 8 is my turn, right? I'm not like skipping or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah.
My
turn.
number 8 is A Child is Born by Jerry Allen. So pianist composer Jerry Allen. This is like a deep cut. So this is kind of out there because there's some avant-garde kind of stuff on this. There's some like interesting sort of like choral things that are happening. It's like mostly solo piano stuff, but then there's like a couple chorally kind of things that are happening. It's very like it's very low key, but it's like super deep. Like there's a lot of like crazy reharmy stuff that happens on this album. So it's kind of like one of those things that's like no one's heard of this album. So it's like really cool to just like kind of put it on the radar. And I wrote in the thing like this is definitely the thing to put on when you have like the super smart like academic-y friends or whatever, or like you have that cousin who has like a PhD and teach at Princeton or whatever, and they're gonna come over for Christmas, and you're like, I got something you don't know about, but that is you're gonna be like, what is this? This is really delightful. You know, like they're gonna say stuff like that. Wow, this is
Like,
incredibly challenging, but very accessible.
but only if they're wearing like a turtleneck sweater, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like you,
like
Charlie.
me. Yeah.
Oh.
So imagine I'm
Oh.
coming over for Christmas. This is a way to impress me. No, but imagine I'm wearing a
Wow, that
turtleneck,
was
but
great.
also like a sweater, sort of V-neck sweater on top of it.
Right.
So I
yeah.
have this, but then
Argyle,
like
perhaps.
yeah, but then I have like an Argyle V-neck sweater here.
So you're saying people that sweat a lot because they're wearing two
Yeah.
sweaters
I'm very
will appreciate
cold.
this album.
I'm so smart. I'm very cold. There's so much blood going to my brain that I don't get much in my extremities. So I need
Oh my god, this is hilarious.
I need layers of sweaters.
Oh, I
Wow.
love this.
Okay. Alexandria, what's your number
Oh.
9?
Number 9.
So I didn't know this record until I stumbled upon it during my Dolly dive. But it's A Holly Dolly Christmas. I
The
love
most
that
creative
song.
title.
I'm not the title. A Holly Dolly. She always has something creative to do with her name. A Dollywood, Holly Dolly Christmas. Like, come on. But it's mostly originals
Mm.
by Dolly. And I was like, this is what we needed. It's giving Christmas, it's giving Dolly, it's giving Queen, all the things that we need. The special, like the features are great too. So if you love Dolly Parton, well, just if you love life, listen to this album.
If you are a human being,
If you're a
listen to
human.
this.
Listen.
Some of the features on this: Bublé, which we talked about, Miley Cyrus, Jimmy Fallon,
Yeah.
Willie Nelson. We got some heavy hitters on this.
Amazing features.
From 2020. This is new.
Yeah, it's a
This is
recent.
new.
Okay,
And
Dolly.
she like Dolly writing Christmas songs. She probably has been writing these since like she was in the womb. So they're probably she's like, oh yeah, I'll just release all of these and like go with the flow. Anyway, yeah.
Sick. Holly Dolly. Gabe,
Dolly.
what's your number 9?
Oh, the soundtrack from Love Actually.
Yes.
Is it a Christmas movie? Yes.
Mhm.
Is my favorite things a Christmas song? I don't think so. But is this a Christmas movie? Yes, it is. Does it have a pretty wonderful soundtrack? I think it does, and you know, it conjures the scenes. As a side note, this movie has one of the best made up professions I've ever heard of, and I want that profession. So if you haven't seen the movie, and then you need to watch it, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. But
So
this
mysterious.
yeah, I know exactly. Well, yeah, I don't know if children listen to this podcast. But this is like, there's, and I said this in the writing, there's Nora Jones, there's Wyclef, there's Otis Redding, there's Joni Mitchell. So it's like whatever you want, this soundtrack has. Yeah, it's not a one-trick pony here. Yeah.
Mm.
And it has this song like, so if it's really Christmas, you feel it in your toes or whatever. That song is like so dumb, but it's like so catchy.
It is so catchy. Yes.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. He's like,
in my toes. Yeah, it's
he's doing this like weird like Mick Jagger sort of impression.
Oh,
like, I feel
it's
it in
so...
my toes.
And he has this weird like white faux leather jacket that it's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
It's a hard yes. Mm-hmm.
Number 9 for you, Amy. What do we got?
Number 9. Okay, I threw this on there. Okay. I threw on Raffi's Christmas album, a collection of Christmas songs for children. Because listen, I love Raffi. And I won't say that I listened to this album specifically. I don't really think I did when I was a kid, but Raffi was like a huge part of my childhood. Like huge. I think there was one time, this story is not about me, but my brother requested to listen to the same Raffi song over and over again for an entire 2.5-hour car ride. And my mom just did it because he was vibing. Like he loved it. And so I think they listened to it, I'm pretty sure, for like literally 2 hours. Like,
oh my God. Wait, who is Raffi? I'm not hip.
This is my question.
Like, no,
oh my gosh.
Raffi is like incredible.
Amy, I'm with you 100%.
Yes, Gabe. Yes. I don't even know if I know everything, but basically, I mean, he's just a children's artist. Like he sings children's
like
songs, Baby Beluga, like all of these songs.
He's a bearded Canadian man that just is like, I like to eat apples and bananas.
Oh, that's him.
Yes, that's Raffi.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
Oh, I just thought that was wow.
No. It's like J.S. Bach,
Raffi. Literally.
Right there.
Are you kidding me? And when I knew him in his era where like he looked like he does on the cover of this Christmas album, where he's like,
oh, it's so good. Dark beard, right? Nice dark beard.
Yes. I think maybe this one has. Yeah. So, okay. Down by the Bay was a song that I loved when I was a kid. He has like,
that's him.
Well, I don't know if I actually don't, that might be a folk song, isn't it? I don't know. But
but maybe the like the classic version.
Raffi also wrote Twinkle Twinkle.
What?
And he wrote Eine kleine Nachtmusik. It's amazing. He's amazing.
Oh
so German.
Me
really
it goes right over my head.
Raffi.
He wrote most of Joni Mitchell stuff. He's amazing.
No, but he does bring it to like kids. And I think, I don't know, this is just great to me because music and kids is like the most important thing ever in the world. So I feel like Raffi is dope because I feel like if you aren't a musician but you still want to make music really important to your children or something like that, you have people like Raffi. It's like Epic Town USA. Even though I think everyone can be a musician. But anyways, Raffi Christmas. I had to put it on here.
Yeah. I do say that I have actually heard a bunch of this stuff, but I'm like doing a lookup. I'm looking up right now. I have heard a bunch of this stuff. I just didn't know it was Raffi.
It was Raffi.
It was just kind of like it's this song or something. Yeah. This Christmas album came out the year I was born. So this is like this is I was there. I was there almost.
So I didn't know it was so old.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Dinosaur age.
Yeah. I know, right? Like really, Mozart was there. It all is true.
Raffi recorded on wax cylinder. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's true. I heard it on player piano in a saloon.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, yeah, it was
Oh my
great.
god, what I would give to be in the same room right now. I just want to like
Yes.
hang out with you guys. The later it would get, I feel like the more I would just like fall on the floor. Like,
It's getting there.
ah!
So my number 9, this is where I read what I wrote for my fiance, and she was like, you are unhinged right now, like with what you're doing. Like, why are you saying any of this? And I was like, I have to say it. This is the most important thing I'll ever write. And this is my number 9 is Miracles, the Holiday Album by Kenny G. When Alexandria, when you were like, oh, I'm embarrassed by the Mariah Carey thing on here. I'm not embarrassed by this. I have strong feelings about this. I love this. When I listen to this album, it makes me feel so happy. I
Oh my
love
gosh.
it so much. But it is so cheesy. I mean, I get it. The reverb, everything. So I wrote, he plays all the notes. He circular breathes and plays all the notes for a really long time. He writes and arranges. And this is the most important right now. I want everyone to listen to this. This is important. He, for some reason, agreed to an album cover photo shoot where it's him playing soprano saxophone in front of a fireplace to a naked baby. There's
No.
and I never noticed this before. I never looked that hard at the album cover.
Mhm.
But as I was doing this, I was kind of like, wait, what's going on? Like, what is he doing? What is that shape that he's playing the saxophone to? It is
Oh
a
my
naked
God.
baby.
Oh my god.
And somehow he was like, yeah, this is cool. Let's do this. I'm
Sounds
going to do this.
great.
And then a bunch of record executives were like, no, this is great. No, this is totally fine. This makes a lot of sense.
Oh my god.
Anyways, so
Child
this
is born.
I need to pull.
the child is born,
know
and he's
what?
there, and he's hanging out with Kenny G, who does not celebrate Christmas, by the way. So this is Kenny G's the first holiday album, and this is kind of the thing that there's a whole cool documentary about kind of this whole thing, like how this kind of all worked, which is kind of funny that I've watched it, but that it exists and I watched it. But like basically it was kind of like, why Kenny G's like, why should I make a Christmas album? Like, I'm Jewish, like this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm a jazz musician or whatever. And they're like, no, just trust us. If you play the soprano saxophone and you play these Christmas songs with like a bunch of reverb and it's like a thing, everyone's going to love it. And when you play that really high note, when you play it for 3 minutes without breathing, everyone's going to be so stoked. You're going to get all the Christians, they're going to go crazy for it. They're going to feel all the feelings. And he's like, fine, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense, but I'll do it. In the first year it was out in 1994, it sold 3 million copies, which was like one of the highest grossing albums or selling albums like that year, not just like holiday albums or whatever. Since then, I think it's gone 8 times platinum or something. Like, since
my
then, this
gosh.
album, it is like it's sanity. But yeah, I don't know.
Kenny G. He's kind of a genius.
Kenny G.
I know, I
That's
was
what
gonna
G
say, like,
stands for.
Kenny Genius.
Kenny
Doing your
Genius.
thing in that way though, like even people who are like Kenny J, they still probably like give him the stream.
I'll
They're
do
like,
Yeah.
that.
check this out. And Kenny G's like laughing all the way to the bank.
With that baby.
Lame. Yeah.
The baby.
Him and that naked baby walking through the
I
streets
just
of
looked
town.
at that. That's wild.
Like, hey, yeah, it is.
Kind
Everyone
of
do
sweet
yourself a
though. The
favor.
baby's like saxophone.
Yeah, the baby's like, I want to touch your. I want to like. Can I like grab the
Can I
saxophone? He's
play?
like, don't touch my saxophone.
Yeah,
He's like,
literally.
I'm Kenny G. I don't know who you are. Anyways, I don't know that that's his energy or something. I don't want to put words in Kenny G's mouth.
Yeah.
We're rounding the corner though. Number 10, last round, final round, lightning
Oh my God, it's
round.
Christmas morning.
Alexandria, what's your
Okay.
number 10?
My number 10 is One Wish, the holiday album by the one and only Whitney Houston.
Ugh.
I think I was just in a Whitney Houston mood when I was writing this down, because
great mood.
my mom and I had just like listened to a bunch of Whitney Houston. But I don't know. And then I actually went back and I listened to this, and the O Come Emmanuel, she throws down. I was like, what? How? Like, you've heard this song a billion times, and she doesn't do anything fancy. She kind of is just Whitney on it. And I was like, what? I don't know, just I don't know, Whitney Houston doing anything, I kind of just drool over. And so I was like, dang, I really miss Whitney Houston. And so this album was just like, yeah, I'm, people are like, oh yeah, like we'll make a holiday album just because. I think Whitney just made a holiday album because she actually wanted to make a holiday album. Like, I don't know, it's very intentional. She like loves the songs that are on it. I mean, there's like original on there. I don't know. I and her arrangement of like Deck the Halls and Silent Night. It's just like a great album. I don't know. I don't when I think Whitney Houston, I don't think holiday album, but
Mm.
now I will because she kind of just goes insane on this, and I love it very much.
Yeah. This is one of my sister's favorites. And so like this was
Oh,
Whitney.
playing. I have two younger twin sisters. And so we would each get votes for things like movies and like listening to music and stuff. And it was because it was two of them. They kind of would just vote for the same thing twice in a row. So I'd be like, okay, I get to listen to this, and now we're going to listen to Whitney Houston holiday album twice in a row.
Twice.
And it's like, okay, now we're back. Now we're back to something I would like to do. So I've heard this album a lot. I've also seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang a lot. And Dirty Dancing, like, and Grease. I've seen like four
Oh my
movies
God.
probably 300 times because my sisters would get votes and they would just pick the same, like, same
my
four
God.
movies, both of them over and over and over.
That's so funny. That reminds me of I'm a nanny and the 6-year-old has watched the movie Bad Guys. I'm not even kidding you 7 times in the past 4 days.
I'm not familiar.
But whatever. The point is we love
That's
the
the thing.
You learn it really well by the time
Yeah.
you watched it 5
Yeah.
times.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition.
It's
Okay. Gabe, what's your number 10?
Okay, this is kind of a newish one to me, and this is Louis Wishes You a Cool Yule
cute.
by himself, Louis Armstrong. So this is a brand new compilation release on Verve 2022 of the fall, September, I think, September, October. But they were like incredibly intense, unlike the Kenny G baby thing. They were incredibly intentional about the marketing. So it's like the fonts are retro. It looks like it's straight out of this, 50s, 60s. But it's got some it's got some good stuff on it. But really it's Louis Armstrong reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." That's like, I don't know that I've ever enjoyed the sound, real or fake, of Vocal Damage as much as "'Twas the Night Before," and it's just like wonderful. It's really good. So, a fun one.
Is that you, Santa Claus?
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Great. Amy, what's your
Okay.
number 10?
Number 10. I chose, this is honestly like new to me this year, but I was trying to come up with a way to try to encapsulate. I have like a lot of memories of singing at church with my family. So I was trying to I'm like, how do I put that in here? And this is what I found. And I also think it's cool. So basically I'll say what it is before I keep talking about everything before I tell you what it is. Carols from Cambridge, the very best sacred Christmas carols by the choir of King's College. The other reason why this is significant to me this year is because I actually had the opportunity to go to King's College to visit with University of Miami's chorale in the spring. So I've always loved listening to choir music, and I usually listen to it in reference to like whatever I'm singing in a choir. But it sort of like changed it for me when I was sort of like checking this out, and I was like, oh my God, I know where they're singing. Like I sort of felt like I understood it in a different way, because it sounded great, but I had this sort of like feel like a different feeling about it. And it's just like beautiful, beautiful singing. I think like singing with others is, I put this in the newsletter, but singing with others is really, really special. And I think like I associate that with Christmas time too, because of togetherness and like music being perhaps more than about performance, like more so about community and like love and that kind of vibe. So this sort of like covered that for me in a way.
Dig. My number 10 is also very new. This is kind of like a running thing for our number 10s, but
Dun-dun-dun.
brand new just a few weeks ago. So Much Wine, the new EP from Phoebe Bridgers. I kind of wanted to include this last week on like new music, but I was like, I'm gonna save it. So basically, how I would describe this is like if you're a Phoebe Bridgers fan, I just like imagine everything you would want out of like a Christmas or like holiday album from her, and this is it. It's really beautiful. It's really well done. I actually like it better, the production wise and like arranging wise, more so than her last like normal studio album. It's really good. The vibes are really good. It's got like that perfect combo of kind of like sad but like sentimental and like joyful and optimistic and like dark. It's very, there's kind of like a lot going on and some pretty simple stuff. So a lot of original things, but then also a couple cool covers. But the vibes of this is it can be encapsulated by this line: I had nothing to say on Christmas Day when you threw all your clothes in the snow, when you burnt your hair and knocked over chairs. I just tried to stay out of your way. And I'm like, man, that's how I feel a lot of Christmas, like with family. It's just like, yep, we were just kind of sitting there. A lot was going on, and this is part of this song that's the title song, "So Much Wine." And it's basically just
Love.
like there's so much wine, but there's just not enough, basically, to get through the holidays. And I was like, I feel that. That's called Christmas. I'm there. So that's our list. We got through it.
Yay!
So thanks for sticking with us through this. I actually don't know. This might be too long for like one part. So I might have to break this down.
Part
Apple
1, part
Podcasts
2.
might be like, that is too long. You need to break it down. So we'll kind of see. We'll see how this all goes in the editing process. But yeah, so that's what we're listening to this Christmas. We'd love to hear what all of you are listening to. Before I have Amy read us out for the last time in 2022.
Oh my god.
Our extra credit is absolutely not extra credit. It is required listening and reading. This is Patti LaBelle. Where are my background singers? This is her singing at like the national tree lighting ceremony. I think they said during the Clinton era. So I think this is like in the 90s. But just everything goes wrong. The background singers don't show up. Like her cue card, the person with her cue cards isn't there. And so like all this stuff is going on. She comes on at the wrong time. They're like still introducing her, and she like shows up behind the person, and she's like, she gets surprised and she like kind of walks off, and then she comes on and they're already playing. And so it's just like everything absolutely goes wrong, but she still like just absolutely kills it. Like she is just like ad-libbing and just is like, where my background singers? She's like, honey, with cue cards. No, that's the wrong card. And like she's just like yelling at everybody, but then like singing in between it and like riffing and like doing stuff. And it just is, it's hilarious and awesome, and it's great. This is actually a great video to pull up if you're with your family for like the holidays or whatever, and you're like, do you all want to see something funny that like everyone's gonna think is funny, is gonna laugh and stuff, and also gonna like love to hear Patti LaBelle. I was telling everybody before this that there's actually a video of her like kind of reacting to this, she's on a talk show and they're like, Miss LaBelle, like, do you know about this like video? It's going viral of you like singing This Christmas, and like the background singers are there, and she's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, it was like 20 years ago, and you're doing this thing for the lighting this tree ceremony. She's like, in like DC or something, and they're like, yeah, and she's like, oh no, I don't know. And she's like, how did I sound? And they're like, you sounded great. And she's like, yes, I did. Like that was kind of just like the energy. It was just like she was like, I'm not even gonna care. I don't care at all what you're talking about. Like, I'm Patti LaBelle.
So funny. That seems to happen. Like, I feel like people as iconic as that are just kind of like, oh, really? That happened? Can't recall. Like, I can't tell if that's on purpose or not.
It's hard to say. Say. But this is a video that everyone should check out. Before we do the readout, thank you to Gabe Lewis O'Connor for being here.
Oh my gosh. Come back
also
again.
Thank you. And then also thank you to Alexandria DeWalt and Amy Azzara for being here and doing your thing. This was really fun. So
Thank you.
for indulging me grinding it out for 40 Christmas albums.
I love
Every
it.
Thank you,
single one of
Charlie,
which
for
I have
having
something to
us.
Well, yeah, my pleasure. Happy holidays. Amy, do you want to read us out?
Oh yeah. Thank you all for listening and for supporting Foray Music. Wait, I'm so sorry. This is so annoying. Should I say like anything about the year? You said in the newsletter a really nice thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just ruined everything.
Should I
Just
say
saying
that
like
thing?
well, I can. Do you want me to just add it and say like thank you for supporting us? We're going to be taking some time off. Did you say that already?
I said it already, but we can say that again.
I just felt like we
I'll
should
do like
say
a
like
cut here.
okay,
And so
sorry.
let's start that over, and I'll say,
Mm.
okay, Amy, do you want to read us out?
Mhm. Oh, my bad.
You're like,
Take two.
okay, but do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's try that again.
Okay.
Okay, Amy, you want to read us out?
Absolutely. Thank you for listening, everyone, and for supporting Foray Music. We're going to be taking some time off for the holidays to reset and reload the newsletter and the podcast, but we just so appreciate your support, and it's been really, really fun to do this. And extra special thank you to Charlie for entrusting Alexandria and I to be part of this with him. We are both like really loving this. So thank you all. Remember to like and subscribe. And just a note that if you leave us a review, we're gonna talk about you. And you can have your 5 seconds of fame. I'm going off book here, but I'm telling you guys, write us some reviews, okay? Okay. For more, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Foray Music. Subscribe to our newsletter at foraymusic.substack.com and check out our website at foraymusic.com. Another off-book edition is I get the notifications when the newsletter posts, and it's so fun. So you should download the Substack app, and it just like gives you a little. It's like, oh, Charlie, Amy, and Alex, and other people wrote something. Like, come check us out. And like the app's sort of look is really great and everything. So I think you should probably subscribe to us and download the app. Alex?
Happy holidays, everyone. John Legend.
That's our quote for the week, which is a thing we do every week, and we always think it's funny because
Every
there's a
time.
gas leak in our houses simultaneously. No. Happy holidays from the Foray family to yours. We think you're super. We'll see you in 2023. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
Quote, or do we have a quote for this week, Alex?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Should it be happy holidays question mark?
In parentheses.
Happy
Like
holidays.
parentheses.
Which part?
Happy holidays. You know?
No. Okay, so
Okay, never
here-
mind. Charlie that did not land.